On this week's episode of Bungalower and the Bus, Representative Anna Eskamani fills in for Brendan, and we are at Ethos Vegan Kitchen in Winter Park. Welcome to Bungalower and the Bus. I am the bus, John Busdecker, and right about now is when Brendan says, I'm Brendan O'Connor, editor of Bungalower.com, but Brendan is actually out of town this week. This is like the first time Brendan has ever gone on vacation in 141 episodes, and he's actually over in St. Pete, so I say vacation, but he's working, and so I actually have somebody who is better than Brendan O'Connor. I have somebody more important than Brendan O'Connor. I have I already messed it up here. Representative Anna Eskamani.
Hello. It's great to be here with you, John. I'm super excited. But Brendan does leave very big shoes to fill.
He's a big man,
shoes.
so he has big shoes.
So I'm going to try to do my best, but I'm super excited to be with you today.
I was going to say House District 47 is what I meant to say.
Well, we're proud to be in it right now. We're at Ethos.
We are at Ethos
right outside
Vegan Kitchen.
Rollins and in Winter Park. I just got back from Tallahassee, actually,
so
it's really
right.
good to be back home in the district.
Yeah, I'm sure it's always good to be back in Orlando compared to Tallahassee.
Yes, it is.
I say that, but I've actually never been to Tallahassee.
You gotta come.
Really?
Come. Yeah, advocate for issues. And I mean, Tallahassee has its charm, but there's nothing like Orlando.
Why do I need to go there when you come here to me?
Amen. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
Proud
first of all, before we get too far, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be my co-host this week, and I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy woman. You're up in Tallahassee. You got something after our recording that we're doing tonight, so I really appreciate you being here.
And thanks for the invitation.
So
let's start talking.
As Anna said, we are here at Ethos Vegan Kitchen. If you've never been, it's here in Winter Park. It's right by Rollins College, and just like the title and the name of the restaurant indicates, it is a all-vegan restaurant.
Did you know, John, that I'm a lifelong vegetarian, now
Really?
vegan?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know
made
that.
the jump.
I actually figured that. So I say that because I spoke with my wife today, and I was like, oh, we're going to Ethos. And she's like, oh, is Anna a vegetarian? I'm like, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I remember Ethos when it used to be a little hole-in-the-wall Ivanhoe Village.
It's true. I was going to say, before I say that, I want to say, if this is the first time you've ever listened to Bungalow on the Bus, we talk about all things Orlando. We talk about mostly downtown Orlando and the surrounding bungalow neighborhoods. And if you miss any of our episodes, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Google Play. And if you like to read, who doesn't, you can go to Bungalower.com and see all the stories that we're going to talk about. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all those things. But like Anna had mentioned, one of the first restaurants that I came to when I moved here to Orlando was the original Ethos. Yes.
That's amazing. So my first experience with the original Ethos was actually a date that turned out to be a really unhealthy relationship for about 7 months.
Oh, no. So you have a bad taste in your mouth?
No, I reclaimed it. Reclaimed it. But I always remember that first moment. And I'm so grateful that that Ethos has expanded.
It was a tiny place. It's where the Hammer Lamb is now.
Correct. And they've just redone the space.
And they're supposed to open a diner over there.
That's right.
But they're taking their time on that one.
And Jason Lambert, the owner of Hammer Lamb, is actually receiving an award from Equality Florida.
Oh, all right. All right.
He's receiving their Equality Means Business Award, and so he's such a champion on so many issues.
I'm hoping that diner opens soon because it's supposed to be a late night diner, maybe 24 hours, but maybe just late night, because I talk about this a lot on Bungalow and the Bus that I don't think there's enough late night places in Orlando.
I agree. Nothing that's like local, right? You might have a Denny's or like an IHOP.
Yeah, and Taco China stays open late, and Gringos Locos, all those places.
Yeah.
But I still think there needs to be somewhere, like, if you want to get like and I don't say this in a bad way, but like a decent meal, like a sit down meal, and like I said, I love Taco China, I love Lazy Moon, I love Gringos Locos, but like
definitely
they're good at 2 a.m. after you've had a few drinks. But sometimes you get off, and I've said this a bunch, like if you fly in from New York and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're kind of hungry and you want to get home.
Where do you go?
Yeah, where do you go?
There's
just not a ton of those like local places.
Well, I'm thinking too, but how the changing demographic in downtown Orlando, we have UCF students that are not 21 years old who can't drink.
True.
Like, these are students who need alternatives.
That's
right?
true, and they don't drink before 21.
I would hope not. As a lawmaker, I know the law.
So let's talk about the things that Brendan and I normally talk about. Usually he does all the work. I told you this before we started our recording here, that generally Brendan is the one who does all of the work, and then I show up and just sort of talk. Mm-hmm. And this week, because he's off in St. Pete, I had to do all the work.
You did some homework
beforehand. So homework is basically copying and cutting and pasting everything he does during the week and put it in some documents. No, we're very happy that Brendan does all the work, and then I just get to cut and paste. But all right, so here we go. We're going to start with some good news. We have a few not so great things going on, but I like to start off on a good news story, which is there's a new brewery coming in town to where the old Panera Bread space was, right on Lake Eola. It's called Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company. Are you familiar with this place?
I am. Yeah. Well, I remember all of the feedback when that Panera Bread was closing, because it was so conveniently located.
Yeah.
And I believe one reason why it was closing is because it didn't have a drive-through.
Supposedly that's the story, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get it if you're going to run a business, but like every time I would go in that Panera, it was busy.
Always busy. And I do think that if we want to be more pedestrian-friendly, we need less drive-throughs and more opportunities to walk up to storefronts and engage in that way.
It was
sad when it closed, but I think this is exciting. I think a brewery is kind of cool.
Yeah. And so this Persimmon Hollow, if you're not familiar, I'm pretty sure they're based in Volusia. They're either DeLand or DeBerry. I can never remember, but somewhere up there. And they make great beer, because I've had their beer before at the beer fest that they do in Sanford.
Oh, nice.
And it's a local place. When I say local, at least Central Florida-ish. And they're supposed to open this tap room sometime later this year. I'm not exactly sure when. And I don't know if they've announced exactly the date, but it's going to be a little bit. But
that's exciting.
The space is kind of there. It's 4,800 square feet. If you're not familiar, like I said, it's right by Lake Eola. It's if you look up, it's the Eola Inn, which is a kind of, it's not a bed and breakfast. It's like a boutique hotel, and I think it's a great spot. They're going to have to do some renovations because it wasn't a brewery before.
Yeah, definitely.
But
definitely,
when you think about Lake Eola as well, it's somewhere that you can go and hang out now.
A lot of good foot traffic.
Yeah.
And I do hope, one thing about the Panera Bread, it was such a good space to have quick meetings.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I hope it kind of creates that environment too, whether it's the 9 to 5 meeting or something after work hours, a space where folks feel comfortable, not too loud. I think that sometimes some of our local breweries, it's a place to relax, but not necessarily a place to actually talk shop. So hopefully we have a little bit of both.
And there's a few bars around Lake Eola. There's the Relax Grill, and there's a few others on the other side.
World of Beer, I think.
World of Beer is right there, but there's no breweries, and so to have more breweries, I think, is a good thing. I mean, some people might argue that are we getting to the point where there's too many breweries? Which I don't believe there's such thing.
No, I don't think so. And I think many folks that love breweries, they love going and sampling, and it offers opportunities to work together to do those type of pub crawls, and so I think the more the merrier. Yeah,
and like I said, I'm not exactly sure when the opening date is, but we'll probably talk about it more because there's just, like I said, there's all these new breweries. There's another one not too far that's opening as well, Motorworks Brewing, which is where Orange County Brewers used to be. So they closed. They were on Orange Avenue, and they're based in Bradenton, I think.
Okay.
So they're opening another space right here in Orlando. So I don't know. We're just getting all kinds of these really cool breweries.
And we have the brewery that's off the Milk District that's been really popular.
I haven't been there yet. We did a show outside there the other day.
Oh, did you?
And Sideward Brewing, it's called.
That's what it is, yeah.
So Brendan and I were there a few weeks ago, but we were outside on the bench out there because it was too loud that day. But that's supposed to be a really good spot. There's just a bunch, and so I'm excited for all these different breweries. I'm waiting for a brewery to open that makes good food, which you don't see a lot.
True.
Right now, it's just like beer.
True. Yeah, and again, like with changing demographics, like you want to have something for everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that it can be an environment where folks of age and folks not of age can still participate and enjoy the cultural atmosphere that our local businesses add. And so I think that would be important.
And, I totally forgot. I did a terrible job hosting here. Anna, you should explain exactly where you represent.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I should have explained that at the beginning.
Sure, love to. Well, I'll tell you, our district is home to many breweries. So, so District 47, for those who don't know, we actually stretch from Semron on the east side to I-4 on the west. We go down at Belle Isle.
Okay.
And all the way up to Winter Park. So it's a very long district. And what it means to be a State House representative basically is that I serve you in Tallahassee. So I'm not your member of Congress. For most of us locally, that would be Stephanie Murphy. But instead, you send me to Tallahassee to fight at a state level. So we're talking about the state budget, which this past year was $91 billion with a B. Mm-hmm. And this determines funding for teachers. This determines public transportation options. It determines environmental protection measures. Healthcare, Department of Health is all funded by the state. So social issues we care about, whether it's equality or access to reproductive health, those are all issues that we talk about in Tallahassee, that we debate on. This past week, I went from talking about issues around elder affairs to abortion access to veterans. I mean, it's
everything.
Everything. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
really proud to do this work. But, for folks that are not sure, what a State House rep means, that's the gist of it. Of course, we also do constituent services. So we have a team here locally. Our office is off Concord Street. So we're in the Lake Eola Heights area.
All right.
And we get so many constituent questions, suggestions, needs. So we're constantly just trying to connect the dots and provide folks with support on whatever issue they're facing.
All right. So in the next half, I'm going to ask you some more questions about the district. But let's keep moving here. So
let's keep doing it.
So we're going to stay kind of in that neighborhood. Felipe Rodriguez Tequila House. If you liked it, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you it's closed down. This was the restaurant that's in Thornton Park, or was in Thornton Park. It took over the space that was left vacant by Graffiti Junction, which was also left vacant by another place called. It was like the truck stop. That wasn't there very long.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so Graffiti Junction was there, closed down. Truck stop closed down. This place opened. It was kind of a taco Tex-Mex place. I don't know if it's because there's just so many taco places. I don't know if that's just a tough location. Had you ever been there?
So I haven't been there, but I do live in Thornton Park, so I walk by a lot.
Okay, so it's your fault. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we're trying to make it better.
Yeah,
but, I mean, I think the reality, too, is that rent is going up.
Yeah.
And whether it's residential rent or commercial rent, as we see new homes be built, we see older homes be renovated or broken down to build larger homes.
Yeah, they do that a lot in College Park.
Yeah, there was an article in the Sentinel about that. Yeah, the McMansions. So all of that leads to property value going up, but it means that for those of us that are renters, like, we also struggle to maintain the ability to live there. And I'm a renter, so I feel that pressure all the time. And I think for our small businesses and our nonprofits who are also renters, it can be a challenge to maintain your bottom line.
And I'm sure that neighborhood is a desirable neighborhood, not just to live, but to operate a business.
Totally.
But you got to turn a lot of tacos and
You
sell
do.
a lot of tequila.
So true.
To once again pay that rent.
And your staff.
Yeah,
right?
and your staff,
everything
all
else.
that.
Yeah.
And then you start talking about, like I said, if you have all these different taco restaurants, which are, a lot of them are great, and I never went there, so they might have had great tacos too.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of competition, and then you got to
Definitely.
pay. If the rent is that high, like I said, you got to sell a lot of tacos to stay in business. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure something will move in there.
Do we know what's moving in
no,
there yet?
No, not yet. They don't
Okay.
They didn't even say why they were closing. They just sort of closed up, and so
Wow.
something will move in there. I mean, it's already kind of ready to go if you want to open a
Yeah.
restaurant. And Graffiti Junction did well there.
I thought so too.
I mean, this goes back to some of my first places that I went to when I moved here. That was another one. When
Very
I first moved here.
popular.
Yeah. And I have one in College Park. There's one downtown. There's one in Thornton Park. It's kind of, whether or not you love Graffiti Junction, you know what you get there. You get
Totally.
you get burgers, you get beer, you get sports. Like, it's all kind of there. We'll see what happens. But like I said, something will open there. I just don't know what. What do you think would do well there? What would you like to have?
I was just thinking that in Thornton Park, recently a foot massage place opened. Have you walked past that before?
No.
It's like very randomly placed. It's like next to the 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And one of my girlfriends wanting me to go with her there. And
so this is the parking lot you can't park in.
Correct.
Or you'll get your car towed.
Correct. But there's a foot massage place there now. And they actually really done up the place well. I mean, you don't even know. It used to, I don't know what it was before, but it's like, you don't think you would see any type of foot massage place in the middle of Thornton Park.
Yeah.
But it seems to be doing very well.
A lot of people need their feet massaged,
hey,
I guess.
I know, I do. But I think that the opportunity in our community is kind of endless. Like, I don't think it has to be a food place that you can get creative and think of other places. Like, you also have what's that dog shop that's in Thornton Park too?
Is Wolfgang over there? Or?
Yeah, it's like it's a small business that sells like dog treats and does like different dog care services. So yeah, I think we can get a little creative and see what can go there. And of course, like, FYI, our office is here to help.
All right.
If folks are navigating state permits and fees, like, give us a holler.
Somebody will swoop in and do something there.
I hope so.
So we'll see. So we're going to once again stay in that neighborhood. I keep talking about closings. It's not all bad news, I promise.
Yeah.
But when this happens, we chat about it. So Sorry Sushi, that doesn't roll off the tongue very well. Sorry Sushi also closed. This was right around the corner. If you're familiar with that neighborhood, Soko's right there on the corner. This is between that and Jack's, which is a bar/sandwich place.
That's right.
And they've been there since like 2002.
What was
Did you
the
ever go
reason
there?
for closing?
Did you ever go to the sushi place?
So one of my favorite sushi places is actually Bakuri Sushi.
Ah, yeah,
So
over on Colonial.
Yeah, so I'm like a loyal fan over there.
Okay.
So I don't think I ever had a chance
That's
to go.
okay. That's okay.
I mean, because I really wanted to.
I don't berate people for not going to certain places. Only I joke about it, but there's just so many places to eat in Orlando.
Totally.
I could eat somewhere different every single day.
And I really am like a creature of habit. So, once I have like a place that I know will have vegan options or will be open at a certain time where I can go in and out really quickly, like, I tend to kind of just,
that's your
my
place.
Time is so limited in my life. Like, it can be hard for me to intentionally explore new places because I just kind of had to come in and come out.
You got your Thai place, you got your burger place, you got your pizza place.
I gotta force myself to take the time to, like, and I think my situation too, John, is that I have so much in my brain all the time that I forget to eat.
Oh, that's not good.
By the time I get hungry, I'm like, oh gosh, I have to go find something to eat. So I just go to the places that I know.
Okay.
Right? And I don't take the time to research, like look at Yelp or look at reviews. But I have to be better about it because, A, there's so many amazing places in our district, but B, I love promoting the small businesses that we visit. So every place I go, I will always do an Instagram post or a highlight or talk to the owner. So,
you should bring them a photo of your face and then sign it, and then you can put it on the wall.
Wow, Anna was here.
You don't see that here in Orlando. You go to like other cities and you
funny.
see like restaurants where they have like celebrities on the wall.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I wish they did that here somewhere.
That's a little bold to call me a celebrity, but
I can call the celebrity, and I don't think I am.
But I definitely love putting my face on things, so that sounds great.
Since you brought it up, we'll talk about that. If you're not familiar, last week was the Orlando Pride Week, which was a gay pride parade.
Yeah.
I was out of town. I was at a wedding, and Brendan was in the parade.
He was amazing.
I'm sure, I don't even know if you
queen.
recognized him, but he had on macrame and heels, and I don't know. I saw the photos. But your face showed up on some condoms.
That's
Why don't you explain this?
That's right. So we got custom-made condoms made. I actually designed them myself. And they're regular condoms, but they're in custom packaging. So the packaging had my face on it with rainbows, and it said, "You're protected with Rep Eskamani." And then we also included a hammer, which is one of our trademarks.
Yes.
And so, and the inside tab had our constituent office number.
Nice.
So if folks need us for anything, they can give us a call, and we're there to help. And they were super popular. I mean, I only ordered 250 of them. I ordered them out of my own pocket because I didn't want to, spend public money on or campaign money. I wanted just to be something I personally invested in. And we were gone when folks were still asking where they were. I mean, it was wild. They were
hopefully
so popular.
Get used,
I hope so too. Like, that was one of our main intent. Was not only to have some fun with Pride and be in the festivities of it all, but really lift up the conversation of healthy sexual behavior, of the importance of prevention when it comes to the transmissions of STIs, including HIV, alongside pregnancy prevention. So it was a great conversation starter for things around sexual health education.
So where does one order 250 condoms?
So actually,
not that I need that many.
You can order bulk condoms in a lot of places. Trojan offers bulk condoms. Your Department of Health in Orange County, if you have a reason why you want to pass out free condoms somewhere, you can always reach out to DOH. They might be able to hook you up. Yeah, absolutely.
I did not know that.
Actually, so it's funny. When I worked at Planned Parenthood before I ran for office, we would pass out free condoms in downtown Orlando, and we would call ourselves the Condom Commandos. And it was, something people loved. And so I do think it's important that we break the stigma that, of course, in an age-appropriate way, right? We're very careful and thoughtful to how we talk about these subjects with folks of different ages. But Pride is a very adult-friendly environment. And it was such a exciting opportunity to also break stigma, I think, right? And have courageous conversations around making healthy decisions.
Is that the first time you've ever heard of a representative putting their face on condoms?
It was, but I have to tell you. So you asked, where do our condoms come from? So the website is sayitwithacondom.com.
All right.
And it's funny because when I reached out to them, they remembered me from my Planned Parenthood days.
Oh, they're like, Anna's calling.
And so I will say that the custom condom family is small. And it was funny because most of the feedback we got was positive.
I'm sure you got some negative feedback.
We did. Breitbart wrote about us, which was not something I asked for. It has led to a few blocked calls coming to our office.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of that.
We do. But it's always when it comes in large numbers when Fox News writes about us or another conservative blog. It's so funny. But another person in South Florida who has his own blog made a comment about how, what's next. Will she put her face on dildos and lube? And my response was, if there's demand for that, we can have that dialogue, and I'm here for the people. So if folks need special lubricant that is brand new, they're Eskamani, Anna approved, we can talk about it.
It's funny you say that because, and we don't have a ton of time, but I wanted to say when I read the original story, the headline said something like, Anna Eskamani's face will appear on condoms. And then, so the first reaction in my head was are they on the actual condom?
Actual condom.
I was like, how did they do that? And then I read it and I was like, oh, it's on the package.
It's the packaging.
That makes way more sense.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know if that's even a thing, to be honest. But technology's ever changing.
That's true.
We'll see.
True. That's awesome though. 250 sold out.
I think we got to get
seconds.
more. I think we got to get some more. So we'll keep folks posted.
All right. So we're going to take a little break here. We're here at Ethos Vegan Kitchen hanging out, and so we'll be back in just a few seconds.
We are here in St. Pete at Alden Suites, and I'm here with my friend, the aptly named Sunshine. Hey, Miss Sunshine.
Hello, good morning.
This is so beautiful here. Can you tell us what we're looking at? Can we paint a beautiful picture for our listeners?
Yes. So we are at the Alden Suites Beachfront Resort, which is celebrating the 50th anniversary this year of their ownership by the Renfro family. So
who are
right
so nice, yeah. Gary and Mary Ann.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they, their family bought this back in 1969, and they've made it into this kind of jewel of the beach, and they have the best sunsets. We even had amazing sunrise this morning. It's a big white sand beach and bright yellow cabanas, and we have this grassy lawn full of happy people and a VW bus. Having granola.
So this is the reason that I'm not on the show this week because and thank you Anna Eskamani for filling in for me, Anna and John. But Sunshine, we were invited to come check this place out, not really knowing how cool it was going to be. And there's a lot of families around. I got to stay in an actual beach bungalow, which was beautiful. And it's so fun. There's these big bright yellow cabanas out there. A sand Zamboni is going by right now. Cleaning the ice for everybody. This sand is beautiful. This is postcard sand.
White sugar sand. Yeah. It's kind of the dream. I like this side of Florida because it's just more peaceful.
Okay.
And the waves aren't so crazy, and there's so much beach here that you can have more of a relaxing experience without all the crowds.
We did a sunset booze cruise last night, which was so cool, and there were dolphins playing in the wake in front of our boat.
We pay them extra for that.
What did you pay them with?
Well, the fishes and stuff, and the mermaid was waving, so they couldn't resist.
There's a mermaid staying with us. She was playing with the kids in the pool, which was so fun. There's a donut RV in the garden. This place is amazing. And then there's all these like funky little shops and stuff all around us.
Yeah, and then right around 10 minutes away is St. Petersburg. So there's, nightlife, bars, great food everywhere. We have amazing food right here on the beach, a lot of seafood, and then just pretty much everything you could ever want is 10 minutes away in St. Pete.
We're doing a little straight trip and day trip roundup for our readers that'll follow after this. So we'll be sharing things about like the Shine Mural Festival, which is happening right now. There's like hundreds of amazing, beautiful public murals downtown. You can just walk around the shops and look at selfie spots. But then, again, 10 minutes away is this really cool little space, which it's one of those resorts with like families return to. Mm-hmm. Which is so cool. We had those in our family when we were growing up, and we'd go down to like northern Michigan, hang out in Petoskey. This has that same sort of feel that you can always come back, and then the people will know your name.
And we have reunions that come back 40 years, one after every single year, and then babies named Alden that were conceived here.
What?
And and our suites are huge, so people can even stay here for as long as a month. So a lot of people do because they have huge closets and the full kitchen and the living room. So people, even though you're in the bungalow, which has, but it's a similar space. All of them have a really large living area with closets, so you can kind of move in and enjoy it. And
it's pretty quiet too. Like, and there's like you guys have a relationship with Publix, so they can deliver groceries straight to your space
and alcohol.
What? I didn't see that. I would have done that. So cool. Yeah, I've loved every single minute of our stay here. We'll be sharing photos later. Sunshine, thanks so much for having us.
Our pleasure.
Where can people find out more information on Alden?
So aldensuites.com is our website, and we have a blog, Alden Wow, and on Facebook and Instagram we're Alden Suites.
And we've been using the hashtag Alden Wow, hashtag Alden Wow, and hashtag Alden Wow 50 for that anniversary.
Right.
If people want to see the photos that we're taking over this weekend.
And
what else do people need to know about this place?
Well, we are planning a gigantic 1969 themed anniversary party where we have people coming in from all over the world. Like a lot of our regulars are going to come up and dress up in hippie outfits, and we're going to have the VW van and all the full-on 1969 Summer of Love reenactment here on the beach.
We did a really fun 80s party last night and then walked across the street to Snappers, which was this like luxe restaurant, right?
Yeah.
It had some real snappers.
Lots of fresh, snappers, fresh seafood and steak, and they have another 1200 Chop House down the street with really good steaks, and it's just right. It's so easy because there's so much within walking distance. You never have to drive. A lot of people just fly in, take an Uber here, and stay for a month.
Sunshine, thank you so much. Everybody check out aldensuites.com for more information.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Bungalower and the Bus. I am the Bus John Busdecker, and I am joined by Representative Anna Eskamani.
It's great to be here.
And Brendan O'Connor, who is normally my co-host, isn't here this week. He's on vacation, and so I found a better co-host with Representative Eskamani here.
I don't know about better, but I'm doing my best.
But we're hanging out here at Ethos Vegan Kitchen talking about all things Orlando and the surrounding bungalow neighborhoods. If you like what you hear, you can listen to some of our previous episodes on iTunes and Google Play. And also go to bungalower.com, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all the places you get your social media, and you can see what we're up to. So, Anna, I'm sure you've been downtown Orlando before.
Oh, yeah. Once or twice.
And so there's a building that you may have noticed down there. It's the United Trophy building. This is right across the street from the Orlando Sentinel.
Yes, I know it.
It's one of the older buildings in downtown Orlando. It's a 90-year-old building, and it's getting renovated.
That's exciting.
So it's kind of exciting because it's one of the oldest businesses in downtown Orlando. The United Trophy has been there for like 50 years.
Yeah.
And if you've driven down Orange Avenue, you've seen it. It has a neon sign. It's across the street from, what do they call it now, Firestone Live? Or they've changed the name about 100 times.
Yeah.
But it's right across the street from the Sentinel. And so it's getting a complete makeover, the facade is. And it's like there's a new owner. The person who bought it, they paid almost $4 million for the property.
Oh, wow.
And they're kind of updating it, and they're kind of adding
Is
it.
United Trophy still going to be there?
Yes. So
Okay.
good question. So United Trophy is still going to be there. I
Okay.
think their footprint is going to shrink a little bit. I guess a lot of people order trophies because I mean they do pretty well over there.
Totally, yeah.
But
That's like the trophy place.
It's a 22,000 square foot building. It's kind of in an Art Deco style if you really kind of look at it. And so they're going to keep some of that stuff, some of those elements. So they're not going to totally make it look different, but. Part of the renovation hopefully will include some new not office spaces, but storefronts for either businesses or small business or small, like, hopefully retail. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the people that own it, they are the people that are behind Foxtail, the place that owns the Foxtail here in Winter Park. So the people that kind of redid that building, same people that are doing this building.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with the Foxtail in Winter Park, I don't remember what that used to be. I think it used to be an auto repair shop.
I think it was.
And
I think it was.
This was years ago. You would pass it, and it just looked like a kind of a dumpy, storefront. But they've turned that into a really cool space over there.
Oh yeah.
With like outdoor seating.
Families
and
are there all the time.
all
Young
the-
people, like folks of every age.
And so if they can do something like that over where United Trophy is, it'll be really cool because I worked at the Sentinel for 5 years.
That's right.
And kind of that part of Orange Avenue, there's not a ton to do over there.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of downtown that hopefully we'll see some life, I guess.
Yes. No, I agree with that. It's interesting too because I think that's a one-way road, right?
It is.
And there's research that speaks to how one-way roads can actually make it very difficult for businesses to succeed.
I believe
because
it.
folks drive super fast and they're not able to see, what are those storefronts. And so I do think we're going to have to be really intentional in lifting up those businesses when they open, making sure folks know that it's there, and hopefully it adds to the vision of walkability in our communities. But because there are new apartments there as well.
There's a lot. I mean, I go back to when I first started at the Sentinel in 2010, and there weren't that many apartment complexes there. In the last 10 years since I've
all been
lived
built
here,
out.
There's been a lot of new development. And
on
there
both sides of Colonial.
Yeah, and there's new restaurants. I mean, Reyes opened up when Citrus closed down. There's some other ones over there, but when you think of downtown Orlando, it sort of stops at like Livingston. If you're walking on Orange, I mean, by the time you get to like the courthouse, there ain't much left to go to walk to.
Yeah.
So, but there is at like the North Quarter. I mean, you got like Credo, you got Reyes, you got La Freme du Fange. Am I saying that right?
I'm not
cheese,
sure,
yeah,
but it's
cheese store.
delicious, yeah.
They haven't opened yet, but they were in East End Market, or they still are, and
That's
they're moving
right.
downtown.
That's right.
And so, but to connect those two, we haven't got there yet. And so hopefully, as more and more things fill in, you might have like a true, North Quarter and downtown can become one.
Yeah, a reason for folks to cross the street, right?
And I think you're right about the one-way street. And I think Brandon and I have talked about this where they're looking into making that a two-way street somewhere over there. But it might be several years before they do
in
it.
the long term.
But
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think you're also right that sometimes people are like, you know what, I don't know how to get there. It's one way. I don't know how to turn around.
I don't want to park far. 100%. Well, you know what? At least our Sentinel reporters will maybe have some more food options.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked there, it was there's the New York Deli right there on the corner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's about it.
Did y'all have a cafeteria in that building too? It's a big building.
They did.
Wow.
So if you don't know, there's fewer people that work there than there used to be.
Are you saying that
Yes.
newspapers are kind of struggling right now?
It's just there's
Are
just
you
not as many
encouraging people
people
to subscribe to
No,
their
I'm a
local
subscriber.
paper? I am too.
Yeah, we both we're
Subscribe to your local paper.
Please do. But they used to have a cafe in there that was.
Wow.
I think Nature's Table was in there. I don't think they are anymore. I could be wrong, but so a lot of those folks have to go out to eat, which is fine. There's some spaces, but hopefully we'll get some more things over there. All right, moving on. Bunny Cafe. What do you think about that? A pop-up bunny cafe.
So I'm excited. Anything with creatures, I love. I'm here for it.
So the Orlando Rabbit Care and Adoptions. Did you know that existed?
Now I do, and I really want to know more.
So they're teaming up with the Nook, which is on Robinson.
Love the Nook.
In the Milk District.
Big fan of the Nook. Love their sodas.
This is the second Orlando pop-up bunny cafe. This is going to be on November 9th from noon to 4. And so what you can do, you can go meet some furry bunnies over there and hold them and greet them and hopefully adopt them.
That's amazing.
And they're going to have food trucks there and some drinks and things like that. But I don't know, it's kind of a fun thing. And you see these cat cafes and
another one's a cat cafe is opening in the district as well.
The Kitty Beautiful.
Kitty Beautiful. Yeah, I'll be at the ribbon cutting.
Oh, has it opened yet or not yet?
I don't know.
I think
if
it
officially,
has.
I think it's, but they have ribbon cutting later.
Yeah, you're doing the official
I'll be
one.
at the ribbon cutting.
How are they going to do that? Are they going to?
You know what? I really hope it's cats who cut the ribbon, to be honest, and then play with it when they're done.
I was going to say, after you cut it, maybe all the cats will start jumping around. So yeah,
they own the street, so it's all theirs.
I like these things where you can kind of come and hold an animal, and then they
very soothing.
get you to adopt it. I mean, that's kind of that's what they want you to do. They want you to adopt it.
Help these little critters find a home.
So it's free if you want to go at the Nook, November 9th. It's a Saturday, noon to 4. Have a beer, hold a bunny, have some fun. So we are in Winter Park, your district. Mm-hmm. Do you get like special privileges being the
Never.
representative? Do you wear like a crown?
I sometimes think I do. No, I'm kidding.
I would if I was representative.
Don't. I do wear my ribbons every day. I wear my rainbow ribbon.
You should wear a sash.
A sash
that says representative.
Super extra. But if someone gave me one, if it's there, it's there. No. But no. I do my best actually to reject special treatment and give as much as I can back to this sweet town. But I definitely think that. I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to get to know all the nooks and crannies of our district.
Yeah, you have a twin, right?
I do have a twin sister. Yeah.
Does she ever pretend she's you?
So she doesn't intentionally do that, but people often think she is. And I'll tell you, my sister, she definitely frequents more of like the nightlife than I do, and I think everyone thinks that she's me.
Oh,
so she's at like Southern Nights, she's at Guest House, and I'm there sometimes too. But there's so many folks who are like, thanks for being our rep.
You're like, send drinks over, I'll take them.
It's so funny. I love her. She's a rock star. Folks don't know she's very involved in politics as well, and she's a really incredible advocate for different social issues. And so, she's a queen.
So here in Winter Park, your district, the Winter Park's talking about acquiring the downtown post office. When I say downtown, I mean the downtown Winter Park post office.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, it's kind of it's in Winter Park's park. It's like their central park.
It's a great place to run into people too, by the way.
Yeah.
You walk in that post office, you see the whole town. It's great.
They have a bunch of they have a really cool mural on the outside of it. It's like
beautiful.
A mosaic mural.
And I've actually done food drives at the Winter Park post office.
All right.
Yeah, like with Second Harvest Food Bank and the Union Postal Workers.
So they've been wanting to maybe do this since 2010, at least according to Brennan, and they kind of put it on hold in 2015, but the city wants to take that land and expand the park.
Yes.
And I guess they met with some folks earlier this week, or they had a commission meeting. I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what happened, but the discussion's out there that they want to possibly take this part and expand the park. I don't know how that works because I know post offices are federal, so you would have to go through the U.S. government to figure out how to do that.
A lot of layers to it. I mean, there's been a lot of conversations with the post office that I go to off Mills and Colonial, of that one actually closing eventually and being relocated. And I will say the Winter Park post office, beautiful post office, but there's a lot of space there. I think that is underutilized.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, the park, they do a lot of events in Winter Parks. They call it Central Park, right? I'm not making that up. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Central Park.
Yeah, so
and it's beautiful. It really is the heart of the community.
Yeah, I know Cows and Calves is a big event that Four Rivers puts on.
We had our Peace Day celebrations there with the Valencia Peace and Justice Institute a few weeks ago. Yeah.
So, but I don't know how that'll all work out. I mean, it's not as simple as we want the land, we want to do this, because like I said, it's going to have to go through a federal level, and then they got to build another post office.
And public commentary as well, and ensuring that the public supports the initiative. I think that's
like,
also
where
really
do you put
important.
it? Where do you put it in Winter Park? Like, do you take land from somewhere else?
Well, and I thought part of the conversation was to keep some of the post office there, but to not have like the distribution piece to it, because like I mentioned, it's a really big post office, and it has a lot of parking for like just postal cars and
Yeah.
when we did the food drive there, I mean, we utilized the dock to actually, collect food and organize the food. So I think that's what the conversation was also around, was just making the footprint of the post office smaller to then expand into it.
You're right. And so I should have read that story a little closer. So it says keeping the retail portion of the post office in the central business district.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean right there. I mean, at least according to this, it could be moved somewhere else, but it says
Correct.
moving the distribution portion
Correct.
of the post office outside the CBD. So that
Correct.
makes sense to me.
Correct.
But like I said, it's still going to be a lot of layers. It's not just as
It will
simple as
be.
we
And
want to
it'll
move
take
this
time.
thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, and public commentary, which I'm pretty sure there was public commentary at this city commission meeting. And I'm someone who really believes in co-governance and everyday people being engaged in the process. So share your thoughts, contact your Winter Park commissioners, contact the Winter Park mayor.
Yeah, whatever
Make
you
sure
do,
you're
they're
part
going
of
to
the
have
conversation.
parking is going to be a big thing because
Totally.
I mean, anybody who lives in Central Florida, especially if you live here in Winter Park, you don't want to give that up because nobody wants to park on the street to run into the post office.
That's why we need more public transit.
I agree on that.
I want to get on Sunrail and get to the post office and back in a timely fashion.
It's true. It's true. We
And
can
in
talk
evenings
45 minutes on that.
and on weekends.
All right, we'll talk a little more good news this time.
Okay.
There's some new owners in College Park at the College Park Cafe. Have you ever been there?
I have.
So
I've been
this
to
is-
like all the diners in College Park. I love the diners in College
So
Park.
This one's on Edgewater. It's been there forever. There's a new family that bought it. It's kind of between Princeton and across the street from kind of Graffiti Junction. It's right there, kind of in quote-unquote downtown College Park.
Yep.
And the cafe's been there forever. It's probably been there for 40 years or something like that. But a new family bought it. They're actually Cuban. So
How
they've introduced some
exciting.
Cuban fare into their menu.
So cool. We need more of that for sure.
Definitely, but apparently they're keeping some of the classics like pot roast and meatloaf and all that.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in years. I'll be honest. I went there once with a buddy of mine. This was years ago. I wasn't super impressed by it. I have this thing that like I feel like it's pretty hard to mess up breakfast. So if you like mess up breakfast, I can go like 100 other places that don't mess up breakfast.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, and so when I went last time, they sort of, it just wasn't that great. And so now that a new family has bought it, and they've opened it up too.
You should
like,
check it out again.
I will. They've sort of brightened it up. They've cleaned it up. I think they've put in like new tile, new tables. So I think I love diners.
Yeah.
And I think Orlando needs more of them. But I also will say I think they need to stay open later.
Definitely. There's something uniquely American about diners. You
Yeah.
know? A cool place to get some pancakes, some if you're oh my goodness, hash browns. Love hash browns.
I do too.
Any shape or form given to me.
I like them a little crispy on top, but a little soggy
You know,
in the middle.
one of my weaknesses is tater tots.
Oh, I do
am
like
a
tater tots.
Sucker for tater tots.
I like home fries too.
Ooh, yeah.
But I like
definitely.
hot sauce on all those things.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right, free trees. You like free trees?
I do like free trees.
So if you live in the city of Orlando, you can get a free tree, and they'll. I'm pretty sure they bring it to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
I want to mention for our listeners that planting trees is great to taking on carbon emissions.
Yes.
And been a lot of research and actually national campaigns to plant more trees.
So you can get 2 free trees if you live in the city limits. And here's the trees. They have 4 different flavors of trees
Ooh.
here. Persimmon. Am I saying that right?
I think
Persimmon.
you are. Yeah, keep going.
Tea olive.
Aw.
Chinese pistache. Dahoon holly.
Aww.
So you can get these. You just need to go to, I don't know, just type in Free Trees
And
Orlando.
just
I'm sure you'll
prove
find
your
it.
residency, right?
Yeah,
Like have
and
something
they'll bring you a tree and you can plant it in your yard. Now, if you are going to do this, don't plant it underneath a power line because in 20 years
Tips
they're
from
going
John.
Yeah, they're going to make you chop it down.
Yeah.
Don't plant it right next to your house because the roots are going to go under your house.
Totally.
Like don't do stupid things with your tree. Put them somewhere where it can grow because here's the thing, Anna. When it comes to trees, they grow up.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I am a little bit because I've just heard the stories of what happens when you plant them in dumb places because you have to take them out. So
Yeah.
plant
And
them
you don't
somewhere
want to do that
smart.
to your tree.
Yeah, we don't want to take it out.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
let it grow for generations.
So go get a free tree if you live in the city of Orlando. And honestly, if you go to like an event that the city's hosting, they'll give you a tree. You don't always have to prove it. I think I've been to some of the like when they do Earth Day
Are you
celebrations.
encouraging free tree fraud right
Well,
now, John?
I'm saying if we can plant trees, if you live in Orange County,
Just do it.
yeah,
Get
just do
yourself
it.
a tree.
Yes. So we don't have a ton of time, so I want to go over some of the events that are going on this weekend. Probably the biggest event is Immerse 2019.
Yes.
So if you're not familiar with Immerse, it takes over all of downtown Orlando. There's more than 1,000 artists, performing artists from all over Central Florida, dance troupes and just everything. Anything that has to do with art takes over the streets of downtown Orlando. It's all free. There are some tickets, but you can also just kind of go for free and wander
Very
around.
Cool.
They have
I love the art, so it's good to see it.
Have you been to Immerse before?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, last year.
I love this event because it really started off as just, hey, let's do something cool in Orlando with Cole Neesmith, and he sort of turned it into this huge event that takes over the streets. And it's Friday night and Saturday night. Just go downtown. You really can't miss it.
Totally.
One of the big events on Saturday is the Blue Man Group.
Oh,
They're going to perform downtown.
I didn't know that.
And I think it's a great idea because I think it gets people that might be like, well, I don't know what this is, and I don't know who these performers are. But if you see that name, you're like, oh, I know who that is.
Yes.
And then you get to discover all these other things.
Yes. And also, try to keep the attention to downtown versus more of the tourism corridors, which aren't always accessible to Central Floridians because it can be kind of far. Parking costs money and things like that.
All of those things. All right. So also the Crooked Can Oktoberfest. This is outside of our district, our bungalow district, but I like Winter Garden and I like the Crooked Can Brewery.
Up and coming.
Yeah. So they got a whole weekend festival. Go out to that. Saturday is the Oktoberfest pub crawl in Mills 50 in Ivanhoe. It's
Awesome.
1010 Brewing, GB's Bottle Shop, Brass Tap, Hammered Lamb, Grape and Grains, $15. Go there. Money goes to the Covenant House of Florida. On Saturday, also at 6 p.m., is the Evening Exchange at East End. 35 different vendors selling all their local
I love it.
goods.
That's awesome.
And 1 year anniversary of Ivanhoe Park Brewing.
Yeah,
So they're
going to
have some fun stuff.
Great spot.
That's on Sunday. Go over there and check that out.
Wow, 1 year. I went to their opening. That's wild.
I was there, I think, the next day. I think Buddy Dyer cracked a keg on the opening.
Man,
I missed
time
that.
goes by fast.
And there's some paranormal investigations at the Art and History Museum in Maitland. Animatronics is doing a double feature, which is a great show that they did at Fringe. There's a concert at the Dr. Phillips Center, the Disney concert, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'm sure there's a million other things, but we ran out of time. Thank you, Representative Eskamani, for hanging out.
It's great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
We'll be back next week. Maybe Brendan will still be on vacation, and you will be my permanent co-host.
Oh, my goodness.
But
That's
thank
so
you.
funny.
Thank you, Ethos Vegan Kitchen, for having us, and we will see you next week.
Can't wait.